Hello. Sorry, I was a few minutes behind. I had somebody at the front door. So I just want to give everybody a couple of minutes to jump on. I'm going to try to get a good angle of my my computer here. It's just my laptop here. All right. So I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes, and we're going to talk about silhouette business edition. I'm going to give a couple pointers. I have a blank screen ready to go. I have it ready to go. This is like what happens when you start it up. And we have our lovely area that we work with, and it tells us how big our mat is. So over here, I have this a little bit set up, a little bit big. So I'm going to make this the size of a Glowforge bed. So the width is usually about like 19 inches. I'm gonna stop there. About 19 inches. And then the height is like 10.8 usually. So I'm gonna just kind of give you like a starting point where if you were going to make something for your Glowforge, you just want to make sure that it's the size if you want it to fit on your bed. So it's usually like 10.8. Alrighty. I have my exterminator here, so if you hear the front doorbell ring, it's just I might have to sign something. I had those stink bug issues. I don't know if anybody else has stink bugs, but right now we are having a stink bug problem. So I just wanted to make sure I got rid of those guys. Okay, so we got that all set up. So that's just kind of what you want to start with. And I'm just going to move this back a little bit more so you can see the whole screen. Alrighty, I have a lot of stuff open, if you notice. I always have a lot of stuff going on my computer. Let me see if I can try to get this out here a little bit more. I know this isn't the best angle. I'm trying to angle it a little bit more, but it doesn't want to. It wants to like kind of fall backwards. I don't know. I want to get the top of the screen a little bit more so you can see up at the top, so you can see everything, like the menu and everything. And I want you to be able to see the side too. I'm trying to work on my kitchen counter, and it's not the best. Let me try to move this over so you can see the whole thing. So some people were asking, like, how do I thicken up fonts? So say you buy a font that has like really, really thin, it's like really thin, and you want to cut it, and then like you go to cut it and it's all thin and it breaks. So what you want to do, you're going to want to go over to your fonts, and I have a lot of fonts. I have a lot of fonts. So like say I took a font that's really thin. Let me just grab one of my fonts that could be really, really thin. Let's see, this one's pretty thin. I'll just say take this one. That's Artist or something. Let's see. This is kind of a pain. I don't know what it is about my computer, but I'll start to type something and it never stays on that font. I don't know why, but I'll say the word welcome. There we go. Now you can tell that is really, really thin. And you also want to make sure that you weld your fonts. A lot of people forget that they don't weld their fonts. I want to make sure that I can see that a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make that a little bigger so you can see that. So you can see that's really, really thin. Oops. And you can see that it's a really, really thin. So what you want to do to make that thicker, first you want to weld it. It's kind of hard. I'm watching it from my phone and on the screen. Okay, so now that's welded. I'm sorry, you can't probably see the top of my screen. Up here, I went over here, and this is, let me just hit undo so you can see what I just did, because you couldn't see the top of my screen. So I'm just gonna undo so you can see what I did. So I went over here, and I clicked weld. That's the weld feature, weld. So that puts everything together. So now it's welded. But what you don't want it that thin. If you want to make it thicker, you're going to want to come over to your offset panel over here. And it looks like a little star. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to click this. and you're gonna come over to, and you're gonna click offset. Now, whoa, that is really thick. You don't want that thick. So it's gonna default to the very last thickness you used. So I don't want it that thick. So I'm just gonna make it just a little bit thicker. Like say, now you wanna make sure you have it in the right size you want. So right now I just have it blown up. But you want to like make sure, like, say you're making this for like a sign or something. You want to make sure that this is measured exactly the size you want it. Otherwise, when you go to shrink it back down, it's going to go right back to being very thin again. So, and I made that mistake when I first started designing, which is why some of my designs might be a little bit thin, because I made those mistakes. And now, over the years, I've learned, always work in the size you want to be working in. Don't blow things up and make it really big and then be like, okay, because I want to see it better on my screen. And then go, okay, I'm going to shrink it back down, because what's going to happen is it's going to get really thin again. So make sure you're always working in the correct size. So it always has your dimensions here. So say this is like I'm working like on a 18-inch sign and I want to put welcome on it. So I want to make it nice and thick. So maybe I usually like to add like where it says like 0.10 or 0.15 or something like that if I want to make it a little bit thicker. So there that is, and I'm going to remove that. I'm going to take it right off, and you can see there's the original that I'm pulling off, and this is your new one, and that's much thicker. So, and if you don't like it, you're like, nah, I want it a little thicker than that, and just get rid of it, delete it, and you can start again. And you can say like, maybe I want it a little thicker, so you can just hit offset again. And you can try a little bigger, a little thicker. So maybe I want like 0.25, and that's in inches. You can set that to inches or your metric. I like to work in inches. Okay, and maybe that's what I want. I'm like, that's perfect. Like, yep, everything looks good. Doesn't look like it's gonna be too thin in any area. Awesome. All right, cool. So that's how you wanna thicken your fonts. All you have to do is go over to that little offset panel, and then you're good to go. I'm like, okay, now I don't want this one anymore. It's gone. And that's your new one. So that's how you thicken fonts. All right, does anybody have any any suggestions you want to see? I know some people were thinking about like how do you weld, like if you have a split monogram or something. Some people had some questions about like I think I have some snowmen. I can pull up that file if you want. I'll just go to I'll open, these are some new files I was working on. And I always save everything to my iCloud and my desktop. I save everything. Snowman. Oh, I have so many. I have so many files on snowman. Let's see. I'm trying to find them all. I have so many. My goodness. These go way back. And I really should label these better. Oh boy. It's gonna be hard to find them. Snowman. These are some old things I have on here from years and years and years ago. These are some old things I bought from a million years ago. These are some old drawings I did. I can show you how to do vector too. I can't find it. Oh, of course I can't find him now. All right. Should have pulled them up first. Alrighty. I'll come back to that. I'll try to find it. I'll look on, I'll try to find one. Let me just put, split monogram. Here, I'll do it on one of these ornaments. I'll show you how to do, I'll show you how to add a name on a split monogram ornament. Okay. All right. Actually, these are the wrong ones. These are the ones I didn't like. I'm gonna get rid of it. Yeah, we'll do a different one. Sorry, we're just experimenting. All right, we'll try a different one. I actually used to keep these organized at some point. Look at that. think it was split margins 2. Because I redid these. I didn't like the first way I did them. There we go. So these are the ones I have the round around them. Okay. So if I wanted to add a name to these, I'll show you how to weld a name. Okay. So I'm going to take this. Let's take this one here. All right. I'm just gonna copy this one. So I'm just gonna copy. I'm just gonna go to a different. I'm gonna open up a new window. There we go. And I'm going to paste. Put it in a new file. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a font. Let's see. What font do I want to use? Something cute. I have way too many fonts. I buy a lot of fonts. Let's do this one. Baby Brooklyn. That sounds kind of cute. All right. And we're gonna go over here. That's where you go over to get your text. So you're gonna go over your A, and you're gonna click. And maybe I will put a name. I will put Jenny. A lot of people call me Jenny. I'm gonna put it on. If I can do it in caps. Ooh. Let's do it all in caps. What would that look like if I did it? No, we'll do it in caps. Okay. Alrighty. Actually, I might just do my whole name. Oops. And if you want to change it, just double click. There we go. I like that. That's a cute font. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it over here. And what you're going to do is you're going to make it bigger. And drag this up, make it bigger. And they have to make sure that they touch. Okay. So they have to touch, and every little point has to touch, like at some point, like the top or the bottom, but every letter has to be touching. So obviously this, I'm like, this isn't going to work, but you can always drag it down ways. And you can also ungroup these. Like if there's one letter that doesn't work, you can ungroup it and move them around. That's what I do. So you can always do that. And I'll show you the ungroup function. You can ungroup. Ungrouping is up here. This is group and this is ungroup. And it's like weird. It will tell you, like you just scroll over it and it will tell you. So you have group and then ungroup. So that will like take them apart so that they're not all stuck together. So you want to make sure that every point is touching. So I think, so what I want to do is I also want to make this transparent so I can actually see. And that how I did that was I went over to this little paint panel and then I just clicked on this, and this is the transparent. So now I can see much better. So make sure everything's touching. So when you want to add those words, you want to weld those on here to make these cute ornaments with the names, that's how you do it. So you just add that name here and just make sure that every little point is touching. And if you don't like the way they're touching, you can just ungroup them. So there I did. I just clicked ungroup. So I just clicked that, and now all the letters are ungrouped. So now I can size each individual letter a little bit differently. Like I want to make sure this N is just a little bit more touching those lines, just so it's touching a little bit better, because I don't want it too thin either. So, and I could have also like added an offset to this. And see, I don't like how this E is, because I think I'm going to lose part of that E. So I'm going to just bring that one down just a hair. And that one too. I feel like that's going to like cut too much of the E off. I think maybe that's good. I think the R could come down a little bit. Or maybe I could just move it down. And you can use your arrow keys to move them around. I'm going to just kind of move it a little bit. So I want to make sure that they're really good and they're really touching. All right, so there's that. And I kind of want to move it over just a hair too. I feel like I'm losing a little bit of that R. And I think I'm losing a little bit of my J too. All right, I think that looks good. Just want to make sure that that spacing looks good though too. All right, I think it looks good. I think I'm losing part of this bottom of the N. So I'm just gonna like drag that down a little bit. I also notice like when you drag it down a little bit, it also pulls it away from the top. So you gotta make sure that you look at the top too so you don't lose any of that. And I'm a little worried about this eye being a little bit fragile. So I'm gonna get that on there a little bit more. And make sure this F is on here really good. And this is why I like to ungroup them so that way like you really get each of those letters on there really good. You don't want your letters to get broken off. All right. So when you're happy with how your word looks, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this whole thing, you're gonna select the whole thing, everything's gonna be selected now. You see that? You're gonna come over here again to your weld and click weld. And then what I wanna make sure, like, okay, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna check it to see how it's going to look. I always just make sure that it's going to look okay. So I always fill it in and see, okay, this is how it's going to look when it's cut. I'm like, oh, that looks good. I think I'm happy with that. And you know what? If you don't like it, you can come back over. There's always undo. Okay, so that's how you weld a name in like a split monogram. So if you buy a file that has a split monogram, that's how you add a name. Or you could even put a phrase or whatnot. They're just a lot of fun. So that's another one. Trying to think what else people wanted to see. So that's how you do that. I'm just thinking anything else people want to see. So that's how you thicken up fonts. That's how you weld things into the split monograms. Trying to think what else I can show you over here. These are all your fun functions. These are all like your little shapes. This one's like your basic shapes. These are fun. There's a ton of really fun like shapes over here. Like if I wanted to make a heart, I come over here and I just come over and it draws a heart for me. I am not a big fan of that shape of the heart. So what you can do, I come back over to my pointer. I don't like that. It's like, it's kind of a little bit too pointy. And I started out making hearts like this, but then I'm like, no, I like to fix them. So I like, well, first I want to make this into a compound path. I'm going to show you how to do a compound path over here. So you come over here and just hit make. And now those little lines are gone. Okay. And now you're going to get your nodes and everything. Nodes are a whole nother fun thing to work with. It took me a long time to figure out how to work with nodes. They are tricky. They can be fun. And I actually have changed a lot of my files. Like I've made some really fun tweaks to my files. That's actually how I added the arms to my angels. I didn't redraw the angels. I actually tweaked everything in nodes to add the arms for my 3D angels. I actually just pulled nodes. So you can do a lot of really cool things with nodes. So you just double click and it shows you all the nodes. So if you don't like the way something is shaped, you can alter them. You can move them. So like maybe I want to make this a little bit more round. Like, okay, maybe. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, maybe. So then they have these little anchor points up here where you can like change the angle. Like, whoop, there it is. I don't know about that. So you can kind of make things more curved, more pointy. So you can see like now this one's a little bit more rounded on the top, but this one's a little bit more flat. And what you can do to make them symmetrical, like you don't have to do them on both sides, just get rid of the other half. Just, you know, you can get rid of it and then you can just duplicate and then I'll show you how to do that. So you can just do it on one side. So maybe I don't like the way this is too pointy down here. Oh, I got rid of it by accident. So I don't like this. I don't like this anchor. So what I'm going to do is I don't like how pointy that is. I'm going to move this node there. I like that shape of that heart a little better. So I don't like this. How I get rid of the other half. Other people might do it a little differently than me. I might just come over here, take a rectangle and just get rid of it. So I'm going to show you how to subtract too. So So you can get rid of that other half of the heart. So I might take this, you can subtract it. Come over to your, this is like my favorite column, is this right here. This is my favorite. I just hit subtract. Now that other half of that heart is gone. So then I can take this. This is your duplicate function. It's like copy and paste basically. And then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna come over to object, mirror, flip horizontal. And then there you go. And you can line it up. Let me line it up on my screen a little better. And it looks perfect. I'm gonna select all and then come over here and weld. Now I have a perfectly symmetrical heart. Instead I have to mess with the nodes on both sides and try to make sure they matched. So now I have a new heart. So if you wanted to make a heart that you liked a little bit better than the one that they give you, that's another way of making a heart. Because I think the heart that they give you in silhouettes, like everybody seems to be making that same heart, and you want to be unique, you want to make it your own, so you can tweak with the nodes and play around with those. Oh yeah, I was going to show you how to vector something. Okay, so say I drew a picture in Procreate and you want to drag that picture over from Procreate, like say I had some artwork. So I'm going to come over here and because I download everything from Procreate. I'll show you how I do that. So I'll show you some of my artwork that I have. So I drew this heart in Procreate. Oh, this is really big. So it's really huge because I did it to the max size. Yeah, this is really big. I'm gonna just shrink it so you can get so there's my heart. So I'm gonna just kind of shrink this down a little bit because this is really big. I drew it, when I draw in Procreate, I always select, you know, screen size. And I don't know why I do that, but there's the heart that I drew. So here we are. It's still really big. You want to make sure it's like, you want to make sure you can select the whole thing when you go to, so this is vectoring. I used to do this in Inkscape, but now I found out you can do it in Silhouette. So this will save you a step. So if you want to take your drawing that you did in Inkscape, this is a JPEG. I sent this over as a JPEG. So now I want this to be an SVG. You can see that there is no clear background. This is on a white background. I'm like, oh no, this is not an SVG. This is not going to work because this is all one piece. These are not separated. This white background is stuck to this heart. So what I have to do is I'm going to come over to this function on the side of my screen. I hope you guys can see this. This here, and it says open the trace panel. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit select trace area. So this is how you vector something. I wish somebody had shown me this when I was learning because this would have been so much easier. Okay, so I selected, and look, everything turned yellow. So that's my trace area. I'm going to come over here and hit trace. Look at that. Now watch. I'm going to take this away. Look at that. Now I have an SVG. I'm going to take this old one, get rid of it. And now I have an SVG of my heart. So all I have to do now is save as an SVG. So and there's my new heart. Isn't that cute? And there's no, see, you can see it's clear. You can see through it. And that's all you have. And you can go up to your file, save as SVG. And that's it. So that's how you vector. It's so simple. And then you can clean this up if you want. Now that here's the drawing and you can clean it up. Like say I don't want this little bit here. Like there's like little dots here from my drawing and there might be some imperfections that I don't like. And this is where you can clean it up in Silhouette. You can use those nodes. Oops. You can use those nodes and clean it up. Like maybe I don't want that little piece there. So what I can do, like maybe I don't want that little guy there. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to come to this, my favorite, and I'm going to release the compound path. First I have to select it. I'm going to release the compound path. Now it's going to show you all the pieces. Okay. I don't want that little guy there. He's gone. I just delete. He's gone. That's it. And if you want to make that compound path again, make sure you select all. Okay. I don't know why he's still there. I got rid of him. Come on, what are you doing? I told you to go away. There must have been 2. All right. That's why you select all, because you're going to see all the pieces. Oh, he's still there. There's still another one. Look at that. This is why I do this. There might still be another one. Yep, there's still another little guy there. Get rid of him. Okay. I got him all this time. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to hit make. Now it's all one piece again. So if you want to get rid of any of those pieces, or there's something you don't like, and if like you want to play with the nodes, you can, woo, I like to come over here and hit simplify. And then that gets rid of a lot of those nodes too. So that makes sense. So double click and you want to get rid of a lot of those nodes, because when you have a lot of nodes, it's going to slow down your machine. So that's another trick. You want to get rid of a lot of the nodes. Make sure it doesn't alter your image too much. Just because you don't want your image to get all like blurry, like wonky looking. So, but I think it looks still the same. So you want to try to get rid of a lot of those points. So I like to double click, look at my nodes, and then I want to come over here and hit simplify to try to get rid of a lot of those. That's a big thing, because that you can tell like when somebody's been tracing a lot or doing something, they didn't clean up their SVG when they vectored it. You really want to make sure that you clean those up. Otherwise, it's really going to slow down your machine. It's going to take a lot longer to cut. The machine is going to take a really long time to process all those nodes, because they look at all those little points. So always make sure you clean your SVGs up when you bring them over. I'm trying to think of some other things I can show you. I hope this is helpful. That, if people that are just learning how to vector, how to weld, how to like thicken up your fonts. I know this is just kind of a really basic little crash course in Silhouette. But it's a lot of fun once you get learning it. I kind of just sat down one day. It was a rainy day, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to just play around and see what everything does. And that's kind of like what you need to do. Just sit down, click on things, just throw an image up there, and nothing ever stays. I mean, as long as you don't save it, just keep putting an image up there and just keep playing with it. Like, see what this one does, see what that one does, see what you can do. It's a lot of fun to work with. I really enjoy it. I'm learning AI. I've been struggling with Adobe Illustrator. I use it. I have to use it for some of my files that Silhouette can't handle. Silhouette can't do everything. So on those files, I do use Adobe Illustrator. Like when I do the rattan pattern and I have to like double up and do like one with the score lines and the cut lines. For some reason, Silhouette doesn't like that. I don't know why, but I have to do that in Adobe. And then, like a few other things, but I like Adobe for using like single lines and stuff. Single lines are a little bit more tricky in Silhouette. I think Adobe is a little bit better for that if you're trying to go for like a single line. I'm just trying to think if anybody else has any questions. I'm not seeing any comments, so I apologize if you're commenting. I'm not seeing any, but I hope you guys liked this. And let me know, feel free to comment in the replay and let me know if there's other things you want me to show you. I could show you like how to like use the other panels. There's a ton more panels on here that I can show you. But it's just basics. Like if you want to like, make something, cute for a family member, you want to put their names on it or whatnot. And you bought a file you need to tweak, like, we get some of those files that don't really work and you're like, oh, like I really love this, but I want to fix it this way. Or maybe you want to tweak it to something you like. So let me know if there's something like specific you want me to help you with. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys get back to your day, and I hope this was helpful. And I also want to do some more tutorials with more paints. I'm really into some of these new techniques with more the distressing. That looks so good right now with the farmhouse. And I have some new really cool stamping stuff that I just, I went to our local craft antique co-op, and there's a lady doing demos, and I bought some of her really cool, she had these glitters and other things for like Christmas, and I was like, wow, I gotta try it. So hopefully I'll be able to get on and do some of those too. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.